Hi guys, Landon is back with another video, and today we're gonna do a long-term review on the Kingsong S22. Now I have over 1,000 kilometers on it now, so I can tell you what's gone wrong, the aftermarket things I've done, what I like, what I don't like, and if I think you should buy this wheel. So if you're interested in that, stick around. Now this video is not sponsored in any way, but I'd still like to mention the kind folks at EVs. They're a group of passionate people in the PEV space who just happen to have a store. So if you're in the market for a PEV or PEV accessories, please click the link in the description below. I receive a small kickback which helps to support the channel, and you receive excellent customer service and the potential for a discount or free swag. So I call that a win-win. So for those of you who don't know, I already did a review on this wheel, but it was earlier on, so this is more like an update. So I recommend you watching that video before this one. This is a suspension wheel from Kingsong. I would say it's their flagship model. It is a 126 volt system with suspension, a 20-inch wheel, and 2,200 watt hours. I was able to get around 70 kilometers of range, which is kind of like V11 territory. It's not a lot of range, but it is a lot of fun. We can get into that. Now, right out of the gate, I have to say that this is still my favorite riding EUC. There's something about the balance and the power and the suspension that, once set up correctly, man, it's really hard to beat when it works. Asterisk there. So yeah, I mean, for suspension wheels, I would still put this up there in terms of the ride quality. I know a lot of you have been wondering how the aftermarket sliders on this wheel have been doing, and if it's a worthwhile upgrade. I can safely say that you would be crazy not to put this upgrade on your S22. The stock rubber kind of sliders, whatever you want to call them, are awful, and they make it so you can't really adjust the coil in the back. It has rebound, compression, all those nice adjustments that you would like to see in a shock. But with the sliders, as frictiony as they are, you can't really set up the shock the way you want it. So with the sliders in, it's nice and smooth, and you can actually dial in the suspension to your taste. So I think it's like a game changer mod. But I have not been riding this wheel in mud for that very reason, because these channels are open inside. You can take a look back at my installation video. It's basically just rollers in a channel. So if you get mud in there, they're not gonna roll very well anymore. So I've just been doing light trail riding, you know, kind of just mountain bike stuff, like trails that aren't gonna get the sliders super dirty. And after 1,000 kilometers, I'm starting to get a little bit of a shudder during braking. And I'm sure that is because the wheels are starting to wear a little bit. And so any little bit of play in those channels is gonna cause the controller to probably cause that shuddering. So I would say these wheels are still a replaceable part. I think I could probably get 1,500, 2,000 kilometers out of these sliders, but they are already starting to act up. So just know that if you're gonna replace them, you're gonna have to replace the wheels probably once a year. All right, let's talk about some other things I've done to this wheel since we've last talked. So I added the Grizzla fairings. I really like them because before you could only have your pads to about there. And then with the fairings on, you get all the way to here. So you get quite a bit more real estate, and it also cleans this up. I really like how clean it looks. It's super easy to install. I think they're about $100 US. I recommend them just because you have so many more options to place pads. And obviously you can see that I've added some aftermarket pads. I really like these ones. These are 3D printed out of TPU. They're very bendy, and they totally change the feel of the wheel for me. I am not a fan of those stock pads. They're too hard. I think with the fairing, you could probably get them in a better place, but I still recommend changing them out. I have also changed out the tire. The original tire is nice when you're going straight,
but it is a square tire. So on the corners of the tire, it feels like you're falling off a cliff. Now, I personally hate the way that square tires feel because, you know, you're standing on a single tire. So I like a rounded profile. So when you turn, it's a little bit more linear instead of having a big cliff to fall off at the end. So I replaced this with the Kenda 262, the old trusty 262. I have it on my Sherman and I put it on this and it made it way better. It didn't really add any more grip, but it just made it a lot more of a practical tire on-road and off-road. So K262, I also recommend. And now, because I've already done a review on this wheel, I'm gonna try not to do too much redundant information, but I can summarize a few things. I really like the seat. Seated riding on this machine is fantastic. It's one of my favorite seated wheels. The pedals, very good. I don't see a need to replace them personally. The lights are really good. They're bright. You can adjust them. And I absolutely love the fact that it has a smart BMS. So we can check individual cell batteries, and that to me should be on every electric vehicle moving forward. It just gives me peace of mind in the garage that I can load it up and I can see exactly the voltages of all the cells to know if there's any problems without having to take it to the shop. I think as these packs start to age, that feature becomes more and more important. Now, that being said, that smart BMS actually saved me from riding a potentially dangerous wheel. So let's talk about some things that have gone wrong with this wheel. So I did not buy this wheel brand new. I bought it with about 150 kilometers on it, so it was basically new. The previous owner actually had, I believe it was the left battery pack replaced. Apparently some moisture got in there, whether it was from factory or not, and they replaced the pack. Very expensive, but it was under a fantastic EV's warranty, so no problems there. I also had it sitting at storage and went to Mexico for 2 weeks and everything was good. And I came back, turned it on, and I looked at the app and the BMS showed up and I said, hey, I don't see the right battery pack. And sure enough, I took a look, there was no communication to the right battery pack. So I took it into EVs, assuming they were just gonna be able to do like a BMS reset. Well, they ended up replacing that pack as well. So without warranty, this thing would have been brutal, but thanks to the nice EV's warranty, it didn't cost me anything. There have also been issues with stator slippage on the stock motors. Now, I have not had a cutout on this wheel. It's been very reliable mechanically for me, but the motor was also replaced by EVs, just in case. So quite a bit of repairs, but it hasn't face planted me. So I think it's still overall a reliable wheel. Now, I still get a lot of flack for dissing this trolley handle. People say that I can't get used to it. I don't know. Maybe you guys like it, but I still hate it. See, look at that. The issue for me is, I don't know if I can do this from this view, is I put my helmet through the handle. And so that's all I get for real estate. It just doesn't lift up very high. So I'm constantly trying to jam this in and get my hand in when I'm grocery shopping. The other part is that it doesn't lock, so it has, in many cases, started coming down, which can cause it to be unstable when you're in a grocery store. It's also in the front of the wheel, which is not balanced at all there. So honestly, I don't take this wheel shopping. Luckily, I have a Sherman with a really nice locking trolley handle that's balanced. And I think that's why I complain about this trolley handle so much, is because it actually stops me from using it as a daily commuter when I have my other one sitting there. I'm sure if this is your only wheel, you could get used to it. But for me, like, having a good trolley handle is really important if you really want to use this as legit means of transportation. And the S22 trolley handle to me is still a huge letdown. Another gripe that I still have is where the charge ports are. The charge ports are underneath the wheel in here, and they're right beside the on button. And so I have PVC stands at my house that keeps the wheel upright and suspends the wheel a little bit. And I accidentally turned the on button on once just trying to plug it in, because they're literally like a centimeter apart, the charge port to the on button. And so the thing turned on the stand, and obviously that was fun. So I wish they would find a more practical spot for at least the on switch, get it away from the charge port. I mean, I can live with the charge port there, but just where it is in location to the on button is really dumb. But honestly, after riding most of the new suspension wheels that came out this year so far at the time of recording, I still think this is one of the best suspension wheels that you can buy. No, it's not perfect. It has really stupid sliders that you're gonna need to change probably the wheels on once a year. It doesn't have a ton of torque, but I mean, if it's good enough for shibby time, it's probably good enough for me. I would still recommend putting some of this aftermarket stuff on, just so you can get a better connection to the wheel. But unfortunately, I am going to sell this wheel. The reason why is I'm just not using it as much as I thought with my Sherman sitting there, and I want to keep the wheels coming in rotation for you guys. And I know there are some new suspension wheels coming out in the next 6 months. So for you, if you want to buy one of these wheels and you can wait 6 months, I mean, it's probably worth waiting, to be honest with you, because this is not a perfect machine by any means. I think there will be better replacements down the road. But if you can pick one of these up used for a good price and you're aware of its shortcomings, I mean, it's a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand with this guy. I had a lot of fun with him though. Gonna miss him. But if you guys like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Sorry for all the ums in this one. It's kind of off the cuff video, but hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I'll catch you guys in another one. Peace.